we need to spend a little time talking about the importance of descriptive writing, because we're going to spend some time looking at different pieces of literature that have good descriptive writing to give you an example and some mentor texts to use in creating your own descriptive writing, which we will get into next week. So think about this. If the reader is unable to clearly form an impression of the thing that you are describing, try again. That is from Purdue Online Writing Lab, the OWL. So look for vivid language. Look for stuff like, why use horse when you can choose stallion? Why not use tempestuous instead of violent? Or why not use miserly in place of cheap? Such choices create a more vivid image in the mind of the reader and oftentimes offer a more subtle meaning, allowing readers to bring their own perspective to the text. You also want to really focus on your 5 senses. If you're describing something, you need to appeal to the senses of the reader. Explain how the thing smelled, felt, sounded, tasted, or looked. You really need to embellish the moment with senses. So would you rather read this? My sister and I walked along the boardwalk each afternoon of our vacation. We watched the ocean and listened to the waves. Usually we stopped for a snack at one of the many stores that line the boardwalk. Afterwards, we walked along the beach and let our feet get wet. Can you picture that? Can you smell it? Can you hear it? Or how about this? My sister and I walked along the boardwalk one afternoon on our vacation. The hot boards warmed our bare feet. We watched the foam-covered waves topple over each other and then slide back into sea. The crashing water competed with the exuberant yells from the seagulls. We bought a perfectly oval fluff of pink cotton candy that dissolved sweetly in our mouths. Afterwards, we walked along the edge of the water, letting the warm, salty air blow our hair away from our necks as the cool water lapped over our toes. I bet you're having a much easier time picturing that and experiencing that yourself, actually feeling like you're right there. Much more descriptive, much more aimed at the senses. Again, you really want to look for vivid text and not vague text, right? So a vague sentence would be, the food was unappetizing. Okay. What if you said, the pale turkey slices floated limply in a pool of murky fat? Much more vivid, much easier to picture, although you probably don't want to picture that. The sprinkler was refreshing. How about the cool water from the sprinkler sprayed our hot faces? Much more vivid, much clearer. Or the traffic was heavy. Our old car puffed as Main Street became clogged with a line of clamoring motorists. Much easier to picture, right? And that's what you want. You want to look for vivid imagery, things that pop out at you from what you're reading. You want to be able to find that in what you're reading so that you can put it into what you are writing. So think about this as well when you're thinking about what you are looking for in text that you want to understand and feel, as well as text you want to write. If you can describe emotions or feelings related to your topic, you will connect with the reader on a deeper level. Many people have felt crushing loss in their lives, or ecstatic joy, or mild satisfaction. Tap into this emotional reservoir in order to achieve your full descriptive potential. You want to leave the reader with a clear impression. One of your goals is to evoke a strong sense of familiarity and appreciation in the reader. If your reader can walk away from the essay, poem, or story craving the very pizza you just described, you are on your way to writing effective description. And if you can get that out of another writer when you're reading, if you are actually craving the pizza they just described, that's effective writing and effective description. Finally, you really want to make sure that your reading or what you're writing is organized. So you should be looking for the organization within the text you're reading as well. It's easy to fall into an incoherent rambling of emotions and senses when writing a descriptive essay. However, you must strive to present an organized and logical description if the reader is to come away from the essay with a logical sense of what you are attempting to describe. The essay that you, or the portion of essay that you are going to read next, is from N. Scott Momaday's Way to Rainy Mountain, and he has a really unique way of organizing and structuring his text. He really combines the use of descriptions of his grandmother, descriptions of the Kiowa people, which is the tribe he is part of, and descriptions of the landscape. And he actually uses them interweaving each other to make his piece a much stronger, extremely descriptive, and very, very vivid essay. So here, these are just some things to be looking for when you are reading that.